This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, December 19th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. Brown University shooter allegedly found dead after brief manhunt. Stabbing attack strikes Taiwan. New Year celebrations canceled in many nations worldwide due to terrorism concerns. Beginning with international events, around the world, several nations have canceled or reduced their New Year celebration events for many major cities. Paris, Hong Kong, Venice, Belgrade, and Tokyo have all canceled fireworks, concerts, and public gatherings due to terrorism concerns. In Taiwan, this afternoon, a complex terror attack was captured on video in downtown Taipei. One assailant began the initial phase of the attack by throwing a smoke grenade into the MRT Taipei main station, the central subway station in Taipei. During this initial incident, at least one citizen attempted to stop the attacker. However, after a scuffle, the citizen had either a medical emergency or sustained blunt force trauma, reports vary, and later died at a hospital. A few minutes after the attack began, it became clear that this initial incident was a diversion, and that the main attack was to be conducted at the Zhongshan station a few blocks to the north. At some point after the first smoke grenade incident, the attacker moved to the second attack site and began stabbing people on the street right outside the Zhongshan station subway entrance. The assailant also attempted to ignite a large incendiary device at some point during the attack, which was comprised of a bag full of Molotovs. Concerning casualties, 3 people were killed during the stabbing phase of the attack and 9 others wounded. Eventually, the attacker took his own life by jumping from a high-rise building during a foot pursuit by police, though the details of exactly how this happened remain unknown at the moment. The assailant was later identified as Chang Wen, however, no details were provided regarding his motive for the attack. In Australia, all 7 of the suspects arrested during yesterday's counterterrorism investigation have been released from detention, even the suspects who were reportedly on terrorism watch lists. Authorities state that there was no reason to hold them, so they let them go. Analysts comment. Analytically speaking, it's not usually a good idea to theorize just on gut instinct that a terror attack will take place. However, if there ever were to be a time for such, it would be right now. The intelligence value of letting known terrorists escape so as to reveal the location of their buddies seems like a good idea at first. However, the value of this investigative technique is negligible when the terrorist cell has reached the final stages of attack planning and have moved into the operational phase. By the time a group of terrorists are maneuvering into the objective area to obtain their weapons before an attack, the other cells have usually already cut contact for security reasons. These guys now know that they are being watched, and the element of surprise is gone at the same time they are walking free. On the home front in Rhode Island yesterday evening, the Brown University shooter was identified by authorities as Claudio Neves Valente, a Portuguese national who was a former student of Brown University. Authorities state he committed the shooting at the Barris and Holly Engineering building before egressing to Boston. At some point during his trip, he is claimed to have swapped the license plates on his vehicle to evade detection. Once in Boston, he is suspected of murdering MIT Professor Loureiro, whom he had worked with back in Portugal some years ago. Last night, Valente was allegedly discovered deceased in a storage unit in Salem, New Hampshire. Analyst comments for this wire. Regarding the Brown University shooting, many details still remain to be ironed out. Most of the details are sketchy at best, and authorities are still withholding a lot of information. None of the witnesses who were in the room of the shooting have come forward with information either, an interesting observance that departs from nearly all prior mass shooting cases. Otherwise, nobody with 2 brain cells to rub together believes the Providence Police Department or the FBI after fumbling the case this hard. While the FBI was out kicking snow and explicitly telling us that there was no further threat to the public, the killer was quite literally driving a rental car to Boston to murder his former colleague. Or at least, that's the conclusion that can be reached using the official, government-approved version of the story. Considering the lack of trust in that official story, it will be some time before even the very basic details of these cases become supported to the point of being believable. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, December 19th, 2025.